let's get started. I'm sure there is exciting round of panel discussions which we still have. Welcome back, everybody. We'll request you to come back to your seats, grab your cup of coffee, get your tea with you, and let's get started. Thank you everyone for coming back. We are starting in the next 1 minute. 1 minute. Please settle back. Thank you very much for being on time. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Can we please be seated? Arvind sir, Saurabh sir, can we be seated? Okay, everybody, so we are starting right now. Leap Ahead, the launchpad for tech entrepreneurs towards accelerated growth and pioneering ahead, is a pan-India initiative to select tech startups. This is a remarkable opportunity for startups to accelerate their growth. We have some absolutely power-packed, full of insight sessions to give us a glimpse of what the program has in store for us. We begin a panel discussion on path to a product-oriented nation. Join the conversation that's shaping the nation's future through innovation, entrepreneurship, and transformative products. May I invite upon stage Mr. Neehar Ranjan, CEO, Econurture Consulting India Private Limited, NGIS mentor. Can we give him a round of applause? Mr. Neehar Ranjan, please. Welcome. Mr. Atul Bharat, Group Director, Acropolis Group of Institutes, NGIS mentor. Thank you, Atul, for joining us on the stage. Mr. Himanshu Agrawal, founder, Schooglink, a private limited NGIS funded startup again. Wow, that's commendable. Welcome. Commander Subhash Dutta, COO, Sequretek IT Solutions Private Limited, NGIS funded startup. Welcome, welcome, sir. Girish, Shivani, Executive Director and Fund Manager, YourNest VC Fund. Mr. Girish, can we show some energy to the panelists, please? Because there is a huge learning which will come from this panel to us, and thank you for inviting them on stage. Vyshali, Sagar, Lead Startups and Sustainability, AWS. Thank you for being the woman on the table. And Jasminder, Gulati, co-founder, NowFloats and founder, Digital Desh and Full Stack Capital, who's chairing this. So with a huge, huge round of welcoming everybody, this is a panel discussion on chaired by Sir, who's already here, Mr. Jasminder Gulati.
Thank you. Let's ask the people at the back to come right in front, or enough time for conversations in a minute? Because हमारे जो panel होते हैं ना बहुत अच्छे होते हैं. I set my own self for higher expectations so that I can become better. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to move a little this side so that I can see all of you. You know, what a diverse set of people. We have somebody who's from Bastar all the way, and somebody who's a Navy commander, somebody who's part of a very large company, somebody who's been consulting and doing all sorts of things in the product world. And then we have someone who's helping, you know, schools and rural education come up. And just the beautiful, you know, set of people here. And Girish, of course, whom I've known for so many years, an investor since 12 years now. And you know, calling it YourNest, which is essentially what all entrepreneurs and founders are need to go forward. Our topic today is a very interesting one. It's something which I think we've discussed multiple times. I'm going to request again to the people at the back that the amount of sound we are getting from the back. Yeah, can we just not, because yeah, the sound is just very high and I apologize. Either you can take your conversations out, and that's encouraged. Thank you. I still haven't received that kind of, that's okay. So, you know, product nation, and if you notice, you know, and I was telling them one of the excuses I got late this morning is because of the breakfast at my house where we were, you know, we started product nation kuch 15-12 saal pehle. That's when we thought of this idea of India, you know, getting its shackles of IT industry little bit behind, though it's nurtured us. Let's not deny that. It's nurtured us, it's become. But I'm going to go one by one and ask you first to introduce yourself one by one, and then I'm going to ask specific questions. But we want to go one by Atul, I'll start with you. Start with you. Small, tiny introduction. It should be not more than 2 sentences, but give me your quick view कि देश हमारा product nation कैसे बन सकता है.
Thank you. I am Atul and I come from a remote place called Bastar, and I am presently based at Indore. I am an entrepreneurship educator from Stanford, and I am Bangalore and ISB Hyderabad, and an entrepreneurship educator also. And I started entrepreneurship journey as a mentor and educator when my mother said that entrepreneurship is not everybody's ball game.
Yes.
So I started teaching kids to go and innovate in entrepreneurship way back in 2006.
And where was this?
Indore.
Wow, Indore.
And initially I founded Indore Entrepreneur Network in 2007-8 from 3 of my students coming back from their job and starting something. And it grown up to a level of 450 startups, mentoring as a support center. भारत की अपन बात करें तो India is an innovative nation. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम हमारे बच्चे की आइडेंटिटी घर में ही बिगाड़ देते हैं.
ये तो बहुत लंबा टॉपिक हो गया अब तो.
तो हम उसको वाई पूछने का अधिकार ही नहीं देते. इसीलिए हम प्रोडक्ट डेवलप नेशन नहीं है. हम पुश्तों से हजारों साल से नौकरशाही में बड़े हुए.
ठीक.
और हम अपने बच्चों से ये पूछते हैं कि तुम क्या बनोगे. हम उससे कभी ये नहीं पूछते कि तुम क्या बनाओगे.
बहुत
तो जब हम ही नहीं पूछते कि तुम क्या बनाओगे,
तालियां. This does require claps.
जब हम ही नहीं पूछते कि तुम क्या बनाओगे तो भारत प्रोडक्ट नेशन कैसे बनेगा.
You know, I have and I'm sorry if I'm interrupting some of you guys, this is a topic very close to my heart. You know, Sanjeev Sanyal, I was hosting him yesterday. He's the economic advisor to the Prime Minister. I was hosting him at Slush day before yesterday. Closing keynote था. उनका एक शब्द है, एक phrase है, I love that phrase of Sanjeev Sanyal. He says we are in a civilizational confidence. तो क्या लगता है कि हमारे अभी जो नए माता पिता हैं, let's say somebody who's 30-year-old today, or even let's say a parent of 35-year-old, I'm sorry, you look young. Vyshali, you are young. But let's say the other of us look somewhat older. आपको लगता नहीं है कि ये next generation के जो parents हैं, तो हमें 5 साल और सहम जाना चाहिए before the next generation really comes up and says, I am ready to change the world. Is that something which is coming?
See, we are going to have more than 22 million alpha generation in next 2 years.
Volume करिए ऊपर.
And this alpha generation is going to give a challenge to all the generations back. And this alpha and us have a very huge digital gap. We say we are digital people, but this alpha generation is going to make that gap more bigger. And there the challenge starts when we have to understand this alpha generation which is coming up.
Right.
They are enough matured, they are enough innovative, they are enough creative. And they know and they ask today's parent why we should do this.
Lovely. Now I like what you've already said. Vyshali, coming to you.
Hi, thank you so much for the time and STPI for inviting us. I'm Vyshali. I lead the Charter for Startups and Sustainability in India for AWS, where we focus on founders and startups who are building for public sector. When I mean public sector, we're talking about government in both state and central government initiatives and PSUs as well, which is something I'd want to maybe delve into as we go during the discussion. Just adding up to what we discussed from Alokji, I think the resources that we currently have for us to become part to product nation, we just have to maybe realize the potential of it. As we call youth is used less, we're actually used less. And I think that's how we'll have to maybe look at developing a product nation and leveraging more of resources that we have, looking forward for more.
Lovely. Girish.
Yeah, hi. My name is Girish Shivani. I am one of the founding partners at YourNest Venture Capital. We are a deep tech fund based out of Gurgaon. We are, the entire product nation thesis is very close to our heart. We've looked at close to 22,000 opportunities in the last 12 years. And we are today investors in about 30 of them. And close to 80% of them are actually products that have been built out of this country. Within the portfolio, we own about 70 patents, another 20, maybe 25 to be filed in the next 18 to 24 months more. So that's how sharply we are focused on the product thesis. And I think the next $1 trillion opportunity out of India is actually going to be how technology moats are being built around the products that some of our founders are taking out to the world. And that's how we think this entire thesis is going to pan out over the next couple of decades.
Lovely, lovely. Commander, sir, first of all, fighting people in the waters, the high seas, and then, thinking about a product nation, I would love to hear that.
Yes, absolutely. Taking on from that, I trained as a surface warfare specialist in the Indian Navy. So the world of IT, where I am presently now, and cybersecurity, they're miles apart.
Yes.
So from this, what I want to instill in the audience is that do not look at what is it that I can do. Just look at what needs to be done, and then develop your capability, develop your abilities to do that aspect, and then go forward and do it. The first step, obviously, is the most difficult step, but then thereafter the journey becomes smoother as you go on that journey. Keep your focus, keep your aim absolutely clear, and definitely you will achieve that goals that you have set for yourself.
Lovely. Neehar, again, somebody whom I've known for some time and seen your journey. Go ahead, tell us about yourself.
And after working for almost 20 years with the companies like Infosys, Microsoft, where Jez and I were colleagues, I ventured into IT consulting. But then as the startup space was growing, I'm also a co-founder for a tech company called TravelExec, We provide group travel solutions to the large travel conglomerates like Thomas Cook, SOTC. So almost 67% of the incentive travel or the group travel across India happens through our platform. So that's what we have achieved in last 6 to 7 years.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Himanshu, Schooglink.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Himanshu. I completed my BTech from IIT Kanpur in the year 2000. I'm the founder and CEO at Schooglink. Our mission is to provide affordable and quality education using a hybrid tech-driven platform with vernacular content focused on the K-12 segment. Wow. My journey has crossed from working into core compilers technology, where we work with designs from AMD, which would take 24 hours to compile, and tweaking compiler code to bring it down to 5 minutes. Then moved to international marketing and sales, and now working on rural education. Why India has to be a product nation? Because India आज सिर्फ India नहीं है, India भारत भी है. आप उसको India 2 बोल सकते हैं, India 3 बोल सकते हैं. Since I am in the education sector, मैं education sector का ही example आपको एक data point देता हूँ. भारत में 15 लाख स्कूल हैं, जिसमें से 85% स्कूल आज रूरल इंडिया में हैं. भारत में 26.5 करोड़ बच्चे स्कूल जाते हैं, जिसमें से 90% बच्चे वर्नाकुलर स्टेट बोर्ड स्कूल्स में पढ़ते हैं. इन 15 लाख स्कूल्स में से 10.5 लाख स्कूल गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स हैं, जिसमें से 1 लाख ऐसे स्कूल्स हैं जो सिंगल टीचर स्कूल हैं. एक टीचर सारे सब्जेक्ट सारे ग्रेड्स पढ़ाते हैं. अभी एक वीडियो वायरल हुआ था, बिहार स्टेट में एक स्कूल है जहाँ पे 5 स्कूल के बच्चे एक ही क्लास में बैठ के साथ में पढ़ते हैं. ब्लैक बोर्ड को 5 वर्टिकल्स में डिवाइड कर दिया गया था, और उसमें पांचों स्कूल के एक टीचर बैठ के उसी क्लास में पैरेलल में 5 डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट्स 5 डिफरेंट ग्रेड्स को पढ़ा रहे थे. तो आज हम चैट जीपीटी से बहुत वॉर्ड हैं. इट्स एन एआई इनोवेशन. बट आज भी भारत में ऐसे स्टेट्स हैं जहाँ इट इज़ एन ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट, एंड दैट इज़ वाई वी नीड टू बिल्ड प्रोडक्ट्स in India for India. Thank you.
So, I'm going to take this as a starting theme, and then we'll go to the 2 themes we've little talked about. ये इतनी ज़्यादा dichotomy हमारे देश में, हम जिस मर्जी एंगल से हमारे देश को देख लें, I mean, we can draw data from all the angles. Let me ask you all a public people, everybody uses UPI. How many people don't use UPI? Okay, you know what our UPI statistics are as of this morning? So of all the digital payments on earth, including America, China, I'm not leaving anyone behind, all digital, बैंक से आपने किसी को 2 रुपए दिए, ब्राज़ील में, जापान में पेपे यूज़ किया, वेनमो यूज़ किया अमेरिका में, मास्टर कार्ड से आपने पैसे दिए, वीज़ा से पैसे दिए, एप्पल पे से पैसे दिए. You know what percentage of total transactions does UPI does in the world? Somebody take a guess quickly. I'm involving you all. What's the percentage of transactions UPI has across all global transactions? How much? 14? 4040. Yeah, so we are at 58% as of this morning. Yeah, 60. We're almost at 60. We will beat MasterCard's global transactions in 2 weeks. Global transactions of MasterCard's 50, 60-year-old company, we are 2 years old. Question to you, Himanshu, ये क्या dichotomy चल रही है देश में? You know, the schools with one blackboard, 5 teachers on one blackboard, 60% of the world running transactions on our UPI, by the way, across 21 countries. If you are missing that out, we've now sent our UPI abroad. But start with me to just fundamental things that as a product nation, we have done well. I don't think we have to debate कि हो गए हम product nation के नहीं, हम हो गए. But why is there still this gap?
So I think the finance sector has done really well with a lot of good companies like Paytm, Zerodha and others. Education, agriculture, employment, healthcare. These are the 4 pillars which still need to be covered in any developing nation.
Is there money in all this?
There's huge money on all this.
Then why has it not happened?
So 2 data points. Again, I'll refer to education sector. अगर भारत में India 2, India 3 में 22.5 करोड़ बच्चे स्कूल जाते हैं, और अगर ₹300 महीना भी अगर वो ट्यूशन फीस दे रहे हैं फॉर देयर आफ्टर स्कूल नीड्स, क्योंकि अनफॉर्चुनेटली स्कूल में पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही है, तो 225 million students into 300 rupees, which is $4 a month, into 12 months, that's $10.8 billion annual revenue.
Wow.
Currently going to local mom and pop tuition centers. तो पैसा तो है,
पैसा तो है,
लेकिन बच्चे वोट नहीं देते ना.
बच्चे
वोट नहीं देते.
वोट
बच्चे वोट नहीं देते. They don't vote. The state education budgets are as high as 50,000 crores per state. So there's money, but there's no will.
So we'll
I
talk
think
about
that's the lag.
Yeah.
That's the gap.
Yeah, but what is the solution? Do you have the first solution? I'll ask everybody for this kind of a...
Solution is definitely there. I've been working closely with a lot of on ground as well as with government agencies. I see a lot of youngsters coming into this government system, whether as an IAS officer or even in the politics. I think that's a good change where they do want to bring in innovation. And yes, when innovation happens at grassroots level, I think things will definitely change.
So this is a good segue to Girish, to you, and to Atul, to you a little bit. Both of you have said, perhaps we are victims of our great success as IT services. Because, you know, the problem that Himanshu just now said, that, you know, he multiplied the number and gave you the, wo product se hi hone wala hai. I don't think we'll reach that scale. Services se ho jayega. I think it's going to take a much longer time. I think we all agree that's why we are sitting here. Girish, why is our services background has either lived its life, or what do you think is the version 3 of our services?
Sure. So if you step back and see the amount of wealth that IT services created in the last 25 years, Infosys got listed in 93, I think 30 years. It's close to $500 billion. Okay, give or take, you know, Infosys, TCS, Wipros of the world, etc. And all that was driven on the back of a very simple demographic, which is the smart English-speaking engineer. Okay? And if you roll back 5-7 years behind today, a lot of the same demographic today is creating products out of India. Either they are building for India or they are building for the world. But there is a paradigm shift in terms of how some of that IT services talent is being now utilized to productize the services or build ground up products. Okay? As I said, in our portfolio, 80% of these companies are built by the same demographic, who have today filed 70+ patents that I told you about, right? So there is and this opportunity is actually multiple times bigger than what IT services has created. Because IT services is replicable. It's a labor arbitrage model literally at the end of the day, correct? Here you are creating core technology which is patentable, which is defensible globally, and which can actually help you increase efficiency and efficacy of the way we are doing business today by many-fold. You know, take artificial intelligence as an example, take industrial IoT as an example, you know, and take UPI as an example, again, okay? So there is a clear shift both from the government to move away from the services mindset, and we need services. It is not that we don't need services. We are 140 crore people, and therefore we are the largest population on the planet today, and we need employment to be generated so that people are meaningfully deployed. But there is a clear paradigm shift in terms of how some of those, benchmarks that defined excellence in a services industry are now being replicated in a product side. And I think that is not going to change anytime soon. It is only going to accelerate from here. And therefore, the sooner we embrace that we are actually in the midst of being a product nation, the better it is for us as a collective.
Understand. No, lovely. And Vyshali, let me go to you quickly, because you are seeing something infrastructurally very, very broad, right? You are seeing only, a lot of consumptions of AWS, obviously. But I think the use cases that you are seeing, probably some us are not seeing, because whenever you start a product company, the first thing we do is, provision some AWS. So I don't know how much is shareable in public, but as a country, have you seen trends which are really diverse and people using AWS? Everybody wants your credits of, but have you seen some new green shoots in our products as a country on AWS?
No, absolutely. I think I agree with Mr. Girish in terms of how we definitely need services and also build a parallel world of product nation, because India is a very diverse country when it comes to platforms and products and the larger portfolio that we run. I can maybe give, I'm not really sure if I can call out all the names of these respective organizations that are using AWS to build various solutions, but some use cases include anything from agriculture to aerospace to judiciary to public sector undertakings as well, something in the oil and gas space. In fact, yesterday I was speaking to a customer who's leveraging a particular IoT tool, IoT and a platform that they're building that leverages to detect and understand more about the fly ash. That it's basically a fly ash monitoring solution that they've built in, and this is being used by quite a lot of PSUs who are in the energy and power space, and of course in the mining space as well. Then there are quite a lot of startups that are building in the judiciary space. As simple as I think one of the startups that's building transcribe solutions for Supreme Court of India as they run through video judgments as we speak post-COVID, and summarizing the hearing and the whole case that they currently have been built on both the parties, including with the judgment that's being given by the respective court and the opposition, and I mean the whole dialogue that happens between all of them. As a summary, leveraging generative AI. In Delhi, as we speak, the CTO sits out of Supreme Court for the last 2 quarters and is building that. So something in the judiciary space that's quite interesting. There's some solutions that are being leveraged from a drone perspective to understand how are SDGs being unlocked in various villages in India, in terms of the larger piece of land and property tax management, leveraging that for, how can they solve for a few SDGs. There's something that's happening in the healthcare space within genomics. Of course, there's blockchain traceability that's going on for quite a lot of crops and seeds. What's also interesting in the aerospace and the satellite space that's kind of unlocked in the last couple of years in India, and how AWS is really powering these solutions that are being built for not just typical platforms and products, but also services. There are microservices that are being built that could be leveraged by these respective organizations as well. So as I said, aerospace to agriculture to judiciary, everywhere where there is a citizen charter, we see solutions being on top of these lists. And also, if I could quickly add in a particular piece with respect to the UPI example, what really worked out is something called digital public goods that are really, really important for us in India. I know there's a long way to go with respect to how do we retrofit it to other sectors, but digital public goods and digital public infrastructure are, I think, immediate and the next set of things that we all need to maybe look into when we speak about products, where we're talking about open software, open data, and a lot of other things that are keeping in privacy for the respective citizens, but are also accelerating the innovation and the growth that we're all taking in the current state of affair. I don't know if that answers the question. So
that's lovely, because I think you gave us the spectrum and also gave me the segue to the next question. I do feel digital public goods in India stack have played a very large role. My next segue to the same thing is that I think we've done very well in building the India stack out. And being a founder member of that, we didn't start out doing that. We fell into it. And in many ways, our product nation is certainly a large part of people like STPI and the government and stuff like that, and our founders. But, hamara time aa gaya. It just happened like that. I think we all now know that we've tasted it and we're going to go forward. How much of what you people are seeing as a product nation is products for India, and how much are you seeing products built from India for the world? Because we need both. Commander, we need both of that.
Yes, absolutely. That was one of the founding thoughts that we had 10 years back, about a couple of weeks back. That was our start of the journey. Security products, especially cybersecurity products, are overwhelmingly not made in India. So we started this journey with a specific purpose of making cybersecurity products in India, for India. You made a mention of the phenomenal growth of UPI transactions. If you juxtapose that graph with the frauds that are happening on UPI platforms, it follows a similar trajectory. So therefore, not just the products, but the awareness in people, the large number of, population which are using these UPI products, they lack the basic understanding of cybersecurity hygiene to begin with.
Sure.
That is very important. And that importance comes, or rather it would get translated when you have more wider dissemination of the security products which are being made in India.
Surely.
That is one of our key focus areas that we are working on. And now to take again, taking from what your point was, we are making products for global environments, for global companies now. And we are making them in India.
Lovely.
We have our own data centers. We have our own data scientists who are working on machine learning algorithms specifically for cybersecurity issues. So this is something which we are seeing quite rapidly happening.
And did you start in India? Were your products
it.
very India focused?
Yes.
And that's why, so it was for India, for Bharat, and now you are
Correct.
a globally focused company.
Absolutely. So first 7 or almost 8 years of our existence, we were exclusively focused on India. It's only in the last 2 or 3 years that we have started expanding globally with our products. We started off with our services, security assurance services, because it takes time to develop cybersecurity products. And now that we are fully matured on that space, we are now transitioning into the products and making for the world in India.
Sure, lovely. So Neehar, travel. Is your product India focused, or have you seen the first green shoots?
So initially when we started in 2015-16,
so
we were a B2C product.
Direct to people.
Direct to people. Then we realized what mess we have got ourselves in, and immediately we pivoted. We tried to understand what, now that we had taken a dive into the entrepreneurship world, we wanted to have a sustainable product so that we are not left without dry revenue out there. So one of the good spaces which we got was the group travel space. And from then till now, we have had 4 pivots, and now is that we have been able to capture the market. So one of the important aspects which, Jas, you have been asking is what sort of product-oriented roadmap or a nation we should look at. One thing is a cultural shift, that if you have taken a dive into entrepreneurship, don't be afraid of pivots.
Interesting.
Pivot is a necessity.
Yeah. I think people, I was telling that Atul also believes strongly in what we are talking. It is so hard to be a founder in this country. You've come out of so much of trauma to be one, and let's say even if you are 1/10 successfal against so much of trauma.
Indeed.
And then somebody comes and tells, Neehar, ab aapko pivot karna hai.
True.
Oh my God, 1/10, dobara se ek aur pahad. And then another pivot.
Correct.
And I think that is where, I think as a product nation from a culture, and Atul, I'm going to come to you. Our culture as a product nation is, it's so hard to be a founder, though that's changed significantly, if I may say so, in the last 5 years. But still, I think we are at the first pivot of pivoting as a country. So we are on the I think we've just crossed the first pivot where people are saying to each other, it's okay to fail. It's okay that this product has not found a product market fit. Try another one, right? And I'd love to hear anybody who has thoughts on this one. That, what do we need to do to inculcate in founders to become a more product-oriented founder? Anyone?
See, it's all about grit.
All about?
Grit.
Grit.
We have to develop that grit to encounter all the obstacles and limitations. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, it's the longest ship of the life which you travel.
Right.
So it's always going to be travel. So of course the challenges and limitations will come, and it only comes to the entrepreneurs.
That is true.
and they are the real problem solvers. So pivot is a part and parcel of entrepreneurship.
Right.
So, but more the failure exists, the more successful you are. You know what mistakes you did, and you never repeat it back, and of course, design a new plan to be successful. So that's trial and error method where pivoting comes and exists, and it will go on.
Good. तो सवाल अब गिरीश को है, how many pivots will you allow your founder before you say बस यार तेरे बस का नहीं है ये?
I don't think I can give you a straight answer, okay? Because, it's a function of, how large an opportunity are you chasing, where you are on the product market fit life cycle, what is the competitive landscape. The decision to write a check, especially at the stage at which we come in, is actually all about the founders than anything else.
Sure.
That is the biggest decision matrix for us. In fact, in our fund, we have a full-time general partner whose only job is to evaluate founders and their teams and help them to grow and scale and get the right set of people internally, from a hiring perspective. And that's how sharply, especially at an early stage, you are focused on the founder mentality and what is it that drives them. Atul talked about grit, conviction, tenacity. It's not about failing. 8 out of 10 times you will fail. It's how efficiently you fail, how quickly you fail, how capital efficient are you when you are actually building out new products, and and how much time are you taking? Because every month that you linger on a product which is not working is draining your balance sheet, and therefore fail quickly, fail fast, move on to the next one. We are all for it.
Lovely, interesting. No, I think the last theme that I want to have all of us talk about, and I'm personally very biased, and I'm asking this as my personal question. Hopefully people will benefit. I think our country started producing more B2B entrepreneurs. I think the B2C people either give up early or need lots of capital and needs lots of nurturing as a product. I think B2B is likely, you can growth hack your way, you can, call some contacts and get your way through. Because, I was telling to some of you that, the WhatsApp of India is WhatsApp. US में बहुत कम चलता है WhatsApp. The Facebook of India is Facebook. Yeah, we do have a good Paytm and a good Swiggy and a good Ola and a good Uber and we do have some. But I've started believing that we still need to take some audacious, moonshots and be successful. I don't mean for the sake of it. I mean, we've yet to produce, because our country is very, very unique. We have so many use cases. Himanshu, your school example, so many unique cases as a country which I don't think exist outside this country. But what is stopping these founders looking at India, seeing the problems that we face as a nation, and create very large B2C products? I'll go one by one. This is an answer I need from each one of you, so nobody is escaping this question. So Himanshu.
So yeah, as you rightly mentioned, B2B is an easier market also because, especially in the tech sector, you have a global customer available. So, I mean, if I take examples of my own batchmates, companies like InMobi and Glance, Nolarity, you have a huge customer base. Pan-global, dollar-paying customer, you grow big very fast, as you said. When you work specifically for India and for an Indian customer, again, you pretty much nailed it when you say that it needs more grit. It may have a longer time period to convert. From the startup founder's point of view, also it needs to have a longer vision. Even from the VC community perspective, with due respect, even they need to have a longer perspective on things. Yeah, because you may create some products which may go wildfire, get 100 million downloads overnight. I will just give an example like the Pokemon, which recently came during COVID. Everybody was going crazy. I didn't understand why do you have to go find a virtual animal. And once everybody had played it, I don't know if you read, but the founder has now gone bankrupt after becoming a multi-billion unicorn overnight.
Yeah, overnight.
There's another example like TikTok, which went viral in India, and then the government suddenly said no more Chinese apps, and we moved on. So yes, building for India as a product in the B2C segment definitely needs more time, more patience. I think it's happening. There are enough founders which are working on it, so we should see it happening on the ground.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're bullish on that.
Absolutely.
Bullish. Neehar.
It's a very good question. B2C, what do you need? I would feel that the support ecosystem which is there, that needs to grow and mature. A biggest example is our patent laws.
Yeah.
So B2C space definitely is a very, if you fail, or within 6 months, there would be multiple Me Too solutions which will come up in the market, actually. So if you have a good patent law, because our patents are very convoluted in nature at this point in time. So like a design patent or utility patent, we just have a patent and a process patent in India. So those we have to look into. We also have to give a support system to the B2C guys, like what I see in Nokia. It started off as a paper mill. And now it is a telecom giant, actually. But it was never in telecom
They
until
also made
1980s.
handsets in between, I'm told.
Yeah. So,
To your point.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it in our eyes, right? कहाँ से शुरू हुए,
Correct.
कहाँ ऊपर और कहाँ फिर कुछ और.
फिर
And
कुछ
we've
और.
seen 3 cycles of it.
Very true. So, in India, if a person fails, it's very hard for him to get up again. So that sort of a support ecosystem is what we need to build.
No, that's a great answer. I think that's also a moat, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that if you build something which has high failure rate, आधे लोग तो डर के ही भाग जाएंगे. So you will get to at least fail within a territory which is closer home. Commander, sir.
Yeah, so I am quite optimistic that we are developing into a manufacturing nation. From the earlier conceptualization of manufacture, something you could hold in your hands, machinery, some product, things like this table or something like that.
Yes.
We have now transitioned into a thought process that yes, products also mean something which you cannot hold, which is there in your pocket, which is there in your laptop, which is there in your mobile device. That has got equal value, if not more.
Certainly.
Starting from the services, IT services industry, which was about 30 years back, to now that we have got the confidence of making software, IT systems. We have now got the confidence that yes, we can make world-class IT products also.
Yes.
And this transition you are seeing over here. You see the group of people that are here, majority of them are entrepreneurs. Majority of them are, small startups who have created a niche product, which is serving some specific needs. Himanshu is the best example right here. And so are the others. So this is a journey which is taking place. Let's not be too hasty in saying that why we haven't come to where we should be. We will reach there. I'm quite optimistic about that.
Lovely, lovely. Girish, the person with all the money to invest in B2C founders.
Unfortunately, we don't do any B2C. We only do B2B. Okay, and there's a reason for it.
I rest my case.
So we are today the most populous nation in the world. With 140 crore people, we already are a very large consumer market. Any consumer entrepreneur building for India does not actually need to step out of the boundaries of India to build scale. जो यहाँ चलेगा वो कहीं पे भी चल सकता है. That's a fair point. Okay, so and which is where the counter thesis comes into play. And the reason B2B, is seen to be easier is because of predictability of cash flows, etc. So all that tick in the boxes are there. But in India, the B2B markets are actually not very deep. They are actually very shallow. And if you take the government out from that B2B equation, you are actually struggling to make revenue. Because the adoption cycles are 12, 18, 24 months. And therefore, if you are building a B2B product and you are not building for the world, then you are actually doing a disservice to yourself.
That's true.
Is the way we see.
That is is well put. Yeah.
Okay, and therefore, and the same labor arbitrage equation comes into play. What you can build in India for $1 million will take $10 million to build in the valley.
Clearly.
And therefore, you are much more capital efficient. So the same IT services model again, where you bill in Indian, pay in Indian rupees and bill in US dollars, comes into play on the B2B side of the world, where you build in Indian rupees, but you are able to sell to the world.
Yeah.
And today, with intellectual property, etc., the way the regime is so tight, if you build a moat in India, it's applicable globally.
It is.
And therefore, why would you not do it?
Yeah, that's why you will put money in that. And that's why what Captain is saying, we'll have to wait a little longer to get, just kidding. But yeah, that's why. Vyshali.
I think we're really good. I'm positive that we will, definitely go towards building a better B2C market as we go, because our journey is not really, something that we've done 2 decades back. It's literally a decade back that we've kind of started to think about startups and the larger organizations of this particular business model. I think what we got right from a market perspective or the overall, addressable audience perspective, I think we still got scale and speed, but I think one piece that we still need to understand is how do we sustain and how do we really build. I think there's enough market making that's happening, but market monetization is still missing.
Interesting.
We still run these B2C, D2C startups with a heavy discounting. How many of you open your respective D2C apps thinking deals, discounting, which is not really helping the business or the, one of the stakeholders in the overall process? Let's say one of the food delivery apps that we're all talking about, neither of them who are involved in this process are really making money. But are still raising capital. So I think market monetization is something that we still need to understand and maybe approach with a different point of view in ensuring we sustain the business. At the same time, there's always an evolution that you have to go through in terms of knowing your audience. It's very easy for us to say, I know my audience, I'm building it for X billion in India, and I know it'll scale for the rest of the world. Who are these customers who will really pay for it? I think we're all used to the freebies on these applications and platforms, but beyond that, how do you build better value? And there's no shortcut to that when you're building business. So, yeah.
Girish.
I think the fundamental challenge in the consumer economy, especially on the digital side, is that it is typically a winner-take-all market.
It is a
winner-take-all market.
It is.
Okay?
0-1.
It's a 0-1 outcome. Whereas on the B2B side of the world, it is, you could have 10 people offering the same solution and still be very large opportunities by themselves.
True.
And that's the fundamental difference between, how some of these opportunities are built out.
Yeah.
And there is no easy answer to this question, but everybody, and especially as a fund, there is a certain amount of risk appetite that we have.
Sure.
And therefore what works for us does not necessarily mean it will work for somebody else. But that's how we've seen this entire consumer versus B2B kind of pan out.
No, I think these are very fair things. Atul, I'll go to you.
Yeah, Mr. Gulati, I just wanted to say that why not we should stop calling us as a developing country rather than we should call up us as a developed country.
That's a great point.
We are
clapped there.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah. We certainly are.
So we are developed country.
Yeah.
Already the topic says path to a product-oriented nation. That means we are already on the edge to be a product nation.
Lovely.
The government support, the system, as Vyshali said, the revolution. The next revolution is going to be the judicial and education. And this is going to change the entire country. The NEP is going to change the entire country. The support system, the NGIS, Chunauti, government support, MSME, startup support systems, education, entrepreneurship. यानी पिछले 10 साल पहले जब हम ग्रेजुएशन में पढ़ाते थे तो हमें एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप नाम की किताब भी नहीं होती थी, सब्जेक्ट भी नहीं होता था. अब न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में, न्यू यूनिवर्सिटी स्कीम्स में आप देखेंगे तो हर सब्जेक्ट में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप है. और अब टीचर को अपना सब्जेक्ट एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप और इनोवेशन को मद्देनजर रखते हुए क्लास में पढ़ाना होगा. We have to teach application-based theory into the classroom.
Lovely.
So now it is going to be a digital world with a combination of hybrid and online both. We will be teaching students with all the facilities, infrastructure developed by Vyshali, Himanshu and so on. Yes. And these are the people who are going to bring that change. And we all Indians are already product oriented. We are the people who are the survivors, and survivors are the warriors.
Nice.
And we as a warrior will evolve as one of the best product nation of the world. So
Lovely.
we should start calling us as a developed country.
I think that is where we end this panel. I think that's a great final statement which sums up what we have to look forward to or already are. So I'm closing this now. Thank you all for listening.
One last point I want to
please.
say. We have to think only one line.
One line.
Soch badlo, Desh badlo.
Sure. Soch badlo, Desh badlo. And with that, I want to thank you all. This is a great panel. I know I threw some googlies because I got late in preparing with you, but thank you for indulging me. Thank you for putting so much of value to our audience. Thank you so much to the panelists. Thank you. I know time's up, but one question is certainly allowed if Upasana says yes. No?
Lunch, please.
Sorry, we're not taking questions. We're out of time.
We can have the questions during lunch. May I just call Saurabh sir for the moment? Okay. So I would request Jasminder sir to give all the mementos. Thank you so much for this panel discussion, from path to productivity, startups. This whole world is very fascinating. And what an impressive panel it was. So thank you so much. I learned a lot from it myself. Thank you for honoring this stage today and starting this beautiful summit with this panel discussion, which means a lot. Yes, absolutely. Great applause for Jazz. So thank you so much. Oh yeah, a group picture which we missed before. With all the learnings that came from it, I think they deserve a round of great applause, right? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's always something between lunch and you. And I think these are the awards which we couldn't do before. So I am very, very pleased to call for check distribution now, which we couldn't do before. So NGIS, as we have seen, has had a huge support and major impetus to startups in India. Today, NGIS is announcing investments to 20 of the most exciting startups that have emerged from the Build for Bharat IoT Challenge. May I please invite Mr. Devesh Tyagi, Senior Director, STPI, plus Mr. Subodh Sachan, Director, STPI, Mr. Prem Bharatasarthi Pontak, Managing Director, and V. Rajni Pontak. Can we please have the four of you on stage for the check distribution? It's going to be a very heartwarming check distribution, which we missed earlier. So, thank you for coming on the stage. May I please now welcome Techvarium India Private Limited, startup associated with NGIS Bhopal. Please keep the claps on because we have a lot of people coming and collecting their checks. Oh, stunning. Dream Aerospace Technologies Private Limited, location Lucknow. Please keep clapping so that they all get impetus and encouraged. That's great. Thank you so much. Ada Lovelace Software Private Limited, please come up on the stage, please. If you want to go for lunch quickly, let's keep clapping. I think lunch is coming on the way, so let's keep clapping. Thank you so much. Presage Insights Private Limited. Please come up on the stage. I think they deserve some kind of contribution of appreciation from you as well. That's a huge sum. Snow Code Private Limited, please come on the stage, please. Smoke Code Private Limited, please come up on the stage, please. Thank you. Thank you. Such young people coming and collecting their checks, it's really encouraging. People Prosper Technologies Private Limited, Bhopal. People Prosper Technologies Private Limited, Bhopal. Please come on the stage. Absolutely stunning. Thank you so much. Contrallo Digital Private Limited, Bhubaneswar. Contrallo Digital Private Limited, Bhubaneswar. Absolutely great. Congratulations. Congratulations. JobStop Solutions Private Limited. JobStop Solutions Private Limited. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Lots of checks here today. Excello Innovation Private Limited. Excello Innovation Private Limited, Bhubaneswar again. Excellent. Somebody who is representing Excello. Quickly, otherwise we will take your check. Okay. Absolutely great. Congratulations. Zarth Coptech Private Limited, Dehradun. Zarth Coptech Private Limited, Dehradun. Very, very well done. Lot of young people here. Congratulations. So stunning. Absolutely great. All right, the next one, Akas Healthcare Private Limited, Jaipur. Akas Healthcare Private Limited, Jaipur. So proud of these young generation startups, absolutely great. So I think this is all about them taking the leap. Remote Automation Private Limited, Mohali. Remote Automation Private Limited, Mohali. Oh my God, this is stunning. Congratulations. Fuvation Technology Solutions Private Limited, Mohali. Fuvations Technology Solutions Private Limited, Mohali. Let's give them a round of applause. Such incredible people coming on the stage. Well done, congratulations. And now NyQuest Innovation Labs Private Limited, the 100th startup getting investment under NGIS. This is great. They're from Guwahati. Well done and many, many congratulations. Very big one. Very big one indeed. So they need really a cheer. Let's give it to them. Energy before lunch. That's great. Paymart India Private Limited, Mohali. Paymart India Private Limited, Mohali. Please come on the stage. Let's give them a cheer, please. Novorbis ITIS Private Limited, Bhopal. Novorbis ITIS Private Limited, Bhopal. Please, we want you on the stage. Yes, congratulations. That's a lot of checks given out. Brilliant. With these 17 startups, which have been given a total of 3.7 crores, the count of investor startup under METI's flagship NGIS scheme stands to 103 now. As NGIS scheme also envisions additional funding through the Next Gen Technology Fund established where the money from other investors is invested as follow-on investment into the startup. I'm happy to now invite 3 startup funds earlier by Next Gen Technology Fund to receive additional investments. So may I call upon Learning Matters Private Limited, Vijayawada, please. Learning Matters Private Limited, Vijayawada. Congratulations, ma'am. Good to see you on stage. Very nice. Thank you. May I call Kurashia Technologies Private Limited, Bhubaneswar. Please give them a huge, huge round of applause, please. Kurashia Technologies Private Limited, Bhubaneswar. I think with so much check coming to you, I mean, they should run for it. Everybody should just run to the stage. There's a lot happening here, so please come. Before I announce the last one, we have Energize Solutions Private Limited, Dehradun, to please come on the stage. Energize Solutions Private Limited, Dehradun, to come on the stage. And now this is a check that many of us want for Articus Private Limited, Bhilai. And I want to announce the 150 lakhs here, which is such a brilliant achievement. Please give them a huge, huge round of applause. Articus Private Limited, Bhilai. I thought you will be running for this, but I see him limping, but I hope he's well. With these additional investments of 2.5 crores extended today, the 20 startups have cumulatively received 6.1 crores. A big shout out to all the startups receiving investment today and wishing them a great journey ahead. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Definitely, this is lunchtime. Needless to say that we are running a little bit late. So you
And just wanted to make this quick announcement. Today, NGIS scheme has hit the century mark. So today we have started, already funded 102 startups from the NGIS scheme. So that's the achievement which mighty and STPI has done. So thanks to all the entrepreneurs and the community which has been behind them, from a selection to screening to mentoring and finally the funding. So thank you everyone for being here. We have 2 great sessions lined up later on. So please enjoy your lunch and join us back again. Thank you.